Thank you guys on Zoom for showing up. My name is Janice Rivera, the founder of Woven, which Woven stands for Women of Virtue and Excellence Networking Group, where as women, we are woven together by our past experiences, our present skills and knowledge, so we can achieve the highest level of success in faith and business. And we're based on 5 pillars, the 5 pillars being business, of course, health, wealth, and next one, sorry. Health, wealth, business, and personal growth. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with an icebreaker question. There was a poll, so I'm just going to we're going to skip that. The question was pretty much, what is the one area in regards to social media do you feel the weakest or most uncomfortable in doing? And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to overcome being uncomfortable in social media and how to improve your branding. Okay, so I'm going to share real quickly how to be a community influencer. Now, what does that mean? I'm sure you guys heard of influencers on social media. I'm talking about in a different sense, from a perspective of running your business, or if you're trying to promote a service or a product. And what it means is you strive to become the go-to person for that specific product and or service. So you become, the goal is you become the mayor of your town for whatever product or service you're doing. So the goal is to have people to look to you for advice, news, and guidance on everything that's happening in the community in regards to that service or product. Okay, and so what does that look like? So the goal is you want to put obviously engaging content, and our main event speaker, Chrisette, she's actually going to share with you what type of content you should be posting. But the goal is what the algorithms, and I'm going to share briefly what algorithms are, is that you want to create most of your content that you post should be engaging. You want to create 80% engagement content and 20% conversion or sales content. Now, I'll be happy to send these. Usually you guys would have been able to see it, but I'll send these slides to you guys as well. So when it's 80% engagement content, you want to, it's content that creates brand awareness, that builds relationships, that warms up your audience, so they come to your page, come to your site. The goal is for you to stay on top of their mind, right? And the goal also is to provide value without anything in return. So you're giving something without trying to pitch them something, business. Okay, so that's the purpose of engagement content. So examples of that, something that's happening in your community, events. I'm just going to share personally, because my husband and I, we own a real estate and mortgage company, and I created a brand called the San Diego Beach Lifestyle. And my brand is I promote like what's happening in the community, what's so awesome about San Diego. So I post local businesses, best hikes, feature business of the month, and then the market is part of the 20%. So my goal is to engage people to say, oh, she has something of value besides selling real estate. And that's the purpose of that. And then the second part is creating the 20% conversion content. This is what turns your audience into leads. So then you offer something of value in exchange for the content info. So post as much engagement content. And then once you get a lot of attention, a lot of viewers, a lot of followers, then you can convert those with providing them offers or conversion content. Okay. So, and the reason, and I'm going to talk about algorithms. I'm sure you guys have heard, who knows or have heard of algorithms, what Facebook and social media, right? Okay, so what does algorithms mean? And it's a tech tool that media platforms use to discriminate between content that people see in their newsfeed and content that is deliberately hidden or buried. So Facebook and Instagram will put content in front of people that they say, oh, wow, this is getting a lot of engagement. Let's blast that out. Or they'd be like, oh, this one's not, they bury it. And a lot of times it's also dependent on the content you're putting. And I'll talk a little bit about that later. So it's used to show people relevant content, which keeps people coming back to your platform and they stay on longer. That's the purpose, right? So that's why posting 80% engagement content and 20% sales content keeps the algorithms happy and your reach stays high. Okay. Oh, and it's not turning. It's not changing. Oh, there's somebody else in there. You want to get them in. Sorry, guys. Just because of they worked on yours, but didn't work on mine. Okay, so what are algorithm factors? Individually engaged users as a whole, post recency, and post types. These are factors that affect the algorithm. So post type, and we're going to talk about that today. They love videos, okay? And it goes by the ranking of live videos, pre-recorded videos, then graphics and text. So that's the algorithm. They look at that. The live videos get the most engaged or get posted the most, and then you pre-recorded graphics and text. So one of the things I shared on with the icebreaker, one of the most uncomfortable things for me was shooting videos. When I found out that if I wanted to get more engagement, I need to post videos, I hated it. Like, I'm not that type of person. But I realized that the more I started doing it, the more comfortable I felt, and the more engagement and followers I got. So it does work. And my clicker, you have to, sorry, Kayla. Okay, so what do algorithms like? They like increased volume of reactions and comments. They like posts with lots of engagements. They like videos with lots of views and watch times, posts that are timely or reference a current trending topic. So obviously, posts that were pro-COVID and vaccines and stuff, those would get posts that were against. If you've noticed, people that were during the political climate, a lot of posts were getting buried too with those. So posts that have a lot of engagement are the ones that will get the most views. Posts from people, pages, channels, or groups that you interact with the most, they will also get. So if you're constantly liking somebody's post, commenting somebody's post, you will notice that you'll see more and more of their content on your feed, which is why if you want to get more followers, more views, the goal is to reach out to people that you don't know and engage in their content. And then hopefully then they will start then engaging with yours, and that will also help boost your being able to be seen. Posts from pages with complete profile info. That's another thing that the algorithms look at. What they don't like is posts with a lot of spammy bit.ly links. So bit.ly links are great, but if you have a lot of links, it doesn't like it. If you have too many hashtags, they say 30 hashtags is the max for Instagram. And I was taught that you shouldn't even have hashtags on Facebook. Facebook does not like it on your posts. If you are overly promotional in your content, it doesn't like that either. So if you're too salesy. Next. And that's it for my presentation today. Sorry, I was kind of fast, but I want to make sure I allowed enough time for our main guest speaker, which is Chrisette. So, I shared pretty much the backstory, but she's going to go into depth on how to build that engaging content so you can get your branding more aware. So a little bit about Chrisette. I've known Chrisette for a lot of years, her and her husband. I'm going to read her bio real quick, but she's a social media expert with a passion for helping small businesses flourish on Instagram and Facebook. She's had over 5 years experience and has worked across many verticals, including beauty and wellness, e-commerce, and nonprofit. She's built social media following from 0 to 15K in less than a year. She's also, her creative efforts in social media marketing, graphic design, and email marketing have increased awareness, leads, and sales for each business. And she was just recently promoted for marketing manager at Awaken Church. So all those cool posts that you see for all the events, Chrisette's probably the one who did that. So I'm going to bring up Chrisette. I'm very blessed and thankful that she came today. She's super busy, but she spoke at one of my previous events and I got such tremendous feedback. I asked her to come back and speak again. So for those who are new and you missed out on the last one, I do have it on my Woven YouTube channel and you can look it up, all her stuff from that. Okay. And without further ado, Chrisette.
Right. Thanks, guys. First of all, I just want to thank Janice, obviously, for starting this community. This is such a great place to just be yourself. ultimately building your business, but also building community, which is so great and so incredibly needed, especially if you are entrepreneurial. A lot of us, who are in the first stages of building our business, it is very lonely. And I've totally been there. So I have always been grateful for networking groups, and I will always be the first one to join any of them. So if anybody has any free spaces in their connects, let me know. So last time when I spoke here, I was mainly speaking about the aesthetics and the groundwork of just your foundations of your Instagram. So today I kind of want to just get in touch with the next step, which is how to create content from ground zero. And so tonight you'll be learning specifically. After this class, I am really hoping that you are going to just not be afraid to post. 2, use your social media as a connection tool, and understand. And 3, understand how to invite people to get them the help that they need. And so here's tonight's kind of like breakdown of what I'll be sharing on, which is breaking down the content beast, 5 pillars of content strategy. And then we also will have a breakout session there. And then I'll be talking about when to post and how to post. Quick, a little bit about me is I started my whole entire career at the age of 6 in the cheerleading industry. I built up my whole career until age 21, mainly in the cheerleading industry. I was coaching, I was teaching choreography, I was flying across the world, doing a lot of just that. I pretty much had majority of my career, I was coaching and teaching and just, teaching children how to do crazy things. But, I felt like I had something more to offer, and I wanted to get back out there and learn and grow myself. So I went back to college, I got my degree in entrepreneurship, and then I actually just started working for an e-commerce. And while I was working for an e-commerce, they promoted me to a social media position. And at the time I was like, I don't know what this is. I have social media, but I've never done this for a business. So I got deep in the weeds. I learned all about it. And literally this is what built my business today. So yeah, you can, basically why I tell this story is you can start from ground zero, no matter how far you think you've built your life. Doesn't matter what age you are, doesn't matter how, how experienced you feel that you are, you can, and you can. So yeah, so let me get into the number one secret of social media. For really any platform is to align with the purpose and intention of that network. So for tonight, we're specifically talking about how we can align our intention with the purpose of Instagram. And so before we do that, we have to look at Instagram's algorithm. And I know Janice did talk about this. So before we dive into understanding content creation, we must figure out the why of Instagram. It exists to share unique photos and videos to people. The most relevant, unique, and engaging photos and videos appear to all of your followers. So what we want to do is align our content to that specific algorithm. So with any other social media platform, you always have to think about the why of that platform. So for example, Instagram, their why is, I want to keep you on this platform. Obviously, every other social media is also like that, but the why of Instagram is to share unique photos, share unique videos. So if we, as business owners, as content creators, are trying to align our brand or are trying to align with Instagram doing that, we have to share the unique content. So an algorithm is basically a fancy way of setting a set of rules to identify what content engages consumers and keeps them on that platform. An example of the way they do this is by showing your content to 10% of your followers, and then they determine whether or not your content gets great engagement, meaning likes, shares, comments. Without that great engagement on your content, your content won't be as relevant to your audience. And that's why engagement is so incredibly important. Definitely the next woven that I want to talk to and about is going to be more on engagement. So yeah, I'll be diving more into that. Tonight is mostly about content and how to build it. And then the next woven that I do speak about will be about engagement. Okay. So before we get into even understanding engagement, so before we even understand what content or what engagement, what content is the most engageable, we have to understand what content even is. So content is what attracts and retains customers or followers. Think for a second of what your content currently looks like. I know majority of us in this room have social media. If you don't, good for you.
Yeah.
Very nice. I will applaud you because honestly, it is kind of a life sucker, but also it's a great way to, stay connected with everything. So, it definitely has its like ups and downs, but for one, think for a second of how your content currently looks like. Is this something your customer would be interested in? Is this something that you're actually interested in? If you go to your profile right now and you go look at your first post, is this something that, you could truly ask yourself, is this something that I even care about? Or is this, something that, I would just throw out the window? So really dive deep into that thinking is, do I even care about this post, or why am I even posting this? Because your customer is probably thinking the same thing. So take a look at these businesses. It's the next one. I'm sorry, you guys, this is kind of, oh no.
Oh, sorry.
It's a little bit different.
Okay.
You can't see what I'm seeing, but so take a look at these businesses. If you can look at each of one of these businesses, what can you identify? They have a clear commonality. One commonality that these businesses have is that they're all exciting. Their color scheme and their clear theme all portrayed through just scanning these photos. So you can tell with each business what they actually do, what they sell, and what they're actually experts in. So that's like it's just a good reference point into how we build our aesthetics, but also just our brand in general. When we think about creating content, what helps me think of creating content on Instagram is thinking of a magazine. Inside the magazine, there are interesting articles, there are beautiful photos, there is a ton of information that you want to consume. But each magazine we choose in the line at the grocery store is so incredibly different. And that's what makes Instagram so cool, is that you are able to clearly, talk about your expertise, your business, and your theme, and do that in your own specific and unique way. For example, I'll just say you're in the line for groceries and you see a home and garden magazine. You automatically know what that is. It's all about home. It's all about garden. And a lot of it is about interior and outdoor. So for, how can we relate this magazine into pushing that into our actual Instagram? So on our Instagrams, we must define what we two are experts in.
Yeah.
It should be one specific topic. This goes back to understanding who your target audience is and what your business mission is. I touched on this in the last course, and if you haven't seen my last course with Woven, I definitely would get in touch with Janice or go to her YouTube channel to go and watch that again, just because there's a ton of good information talking about aesthetics, talking about brand, talking about tone, just in that Woven. So I would really go back and look into that. So with this, how do you find your expertise? Well, you just go back to your mission. It's the reason why you started your business. It's the why. It's what you find your talent in. It's what you can specifically say you are gifted in. And so that is what you're an expert at. So now that you know what your mission is, your expertise, let's break down this content beast a little bit further. So I really want to get into reframing content creation, because I know majority of what people tell me when they say, oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated with Instagram. I just feel like every time I open my feed, I just like don't even know what to post. So that's the first thing that I've gotten a lot of feedback with from a lot of business owners. And honestly, you know, if you are feeling like that, this is normal. So the first thing is that I hear a lot is, I'm scared to show up. And truly cancel. You need to cancel that out of your brain and just release that fear and just truly trust. Think about that one person that your business could truly help. For example, if you knew the sky was falling and you were the only one in the world who knew that the sky was falling, why wouldn't you want to tell people?
Yeah.
So that could be applicable to your story. That could be applicable to what your business offers. And that could be applicable to anything that you post on social media.
Yeah.
So Janice did touch over this. The second thing that I hear a lot is, I don't know what to post. So I resort always back to the 80-20 rule. 80% connection, 20% invitation. And I'll go into connection and invitation a little bit later down the line. But we want to focus majority of our content on connecting with our customers, with what you as a business owner actually care about. Now, this is kind of different from what the customer actually cares about. But ultimately, if you're creating the business that you actually love, the right customers will come to you. So don't feel like I need to create the content for this person. If you love your business wholeheartedly and you love what you're building wholeheartedly, you will make the content that is supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Third thing I hear a lot, I don't know how to create stuff.
Yeah.
So my main thing is just try it. Try it. Honestly, if you end up hating the video that you post, delete it, whatever. You literally can't. So there's so much that gets put out into the world every single second of the day that it will blow over if you delete it.
Yeah.
It's okay. So again, test whatever you feel like you want to test. If you want to get into reels, get into reels. If you want to get into doing live videos, get on a live video. If you want to do stories and do more engagement posts in your stories, asking questions, doing polls. There's one thing that I love to do on my personal Instagram. It's called Buy or Burn. And I post a bunch of different like weird stuff that I find on Instagram. And I ask people, would you buy this or would you burn this? And it's fun. It's like a fun thing. And I get all the time, I get feedback of people like, keep doing it. It's such a fun thing for me to just mindlessly like tap and laugh at. So, you know, people want to be entertained.
Yeah.
They want to laugh. They want to have fun. And how they do that is by interacting with all of your content.
Yeah.
So, and then the second thing with that is learn Canva. I know I have spoken the past time on Canva just a little bit. I did want to teach on Canva. So eventually I hope one day I will get there. But Canva is such an incredible tool. It's free. Look it up. It's called canva.com. It's a free tool for any business owner to use, any normal person. You don't have to be a business owner, and you can just create whatever graphic that you would ever want. And they have the templates created for you. All you have to do is plug and play.
Images are safe to use and warranted, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So you basically are creating your own image. It's basically like an online Photoshop, but like a little bit more user friendly for somebody who doesn't understand design or understand, you know, like what does colors, I don't even know colors, you know, like they have all of that information for you. So literally all you have to do is, if you even wanted to, you could use that template and you could even just post that. So really, like, it's such a great tool. I cannot even like recommend that up and down. Like the Canva was my lifesaver for all of the content that I have created for tons of businesses in the past. And then the last thing that I hear a lot is, it's a waste of my time. So if you find yourself saying that this is a waste of your time, please go hire somebody. This is majority of Instagram and Facebook and social media, majority of that is how people market their businesses nowadays. So if you're not doing that, then you need to be marketing in a different way. And not marketing at all is just not the answer.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself saying that, employ somebody, spend your time on what matters to you most, and align your tasks effectively.
Excuse me, when
Yeah.
you say employ somebody, are you talking about have them do a website for you, or are you talking about to set up an Instagram account?
Have them run your Instagram for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Creating your posts.
Yeah,
scheduling
creating,
your posts.
yep,
Wow.
basically, or what you could do is have them take posts that you have created, like the photo, the video, and then you can hand that off to them and be like, I want you to post XYZ for the next 5 days, etc. And basically just give them the guideline. I will get through that on like what a posting strategy looks like just shortly. So you can kind of apply that if you do want to employ somebody. So how many of you find yourself saying a few of these statements above? Anybody? Yes,
In the
and
beginning,
that's
I did.
what I figured. So I really want to dive into the importance of what we post. And here's a simple how-to. It's connect, 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 invite. And so I'll go into why it's 5, but make the connection be your main purpose of all of your content. This goes back to the 80-20 rule, where 80% of your content should be interesting and behavior specific. And then 20% of your content should be sales.
Yeah.
So how do we even connect with our customers? 3 ways we can create this type of connection. First thing is share your passion. Share what you're passionate about. You find this by, okay, if anybody doesn't know what they're actually passionate about when they're sharing in their own personal or business profiles, I would suggest opening your camera roll and just looking at the pictures that you take the most things of. So look at, if it's pictures of your dog, because I know that's how it is for me. If it's pictures of your dog, post your dog. The thing is that your ideal customer is probably has the same personality as you, has the same type of likes and wants as you. So post your passion. And then the second thing is storytell and share what is going on in your life. A lot of people make the mistake on just talking about their business.
Yeah.
They don't talk about their hardships. They don't talk about, any of like the nitty gritty stuff. I would get back to humanity and talk about what your testimony. People are looking for that. And they're looking to be connected to a human, not a robot.
Yeah, so good.
And then I would show, if you would like to try and test, I would recommend getting on an Instagram Live. And so, of course, video content, if you haven't posted video content yet, it is the most engaging content, and Instagram actually does push this to the top of people's feeds.
Yeah.
And especially if you are using all of their new capabilities, which means you're doing Instagram Reels, you're doing IGTV, and you're doing Instagram Live. So if you're doing all of those video heavy things, you're doing a great job. So good job to you. And then third thing is attraction evangelism. And I kind of touched on this last time. So with attraction evangelism, it's being fearlessly authentic to who you are and what you stand for, and then letting people fall in love with who you are, what you do, and the way you live your life. So you'll attract the right people when you put out who you are and what you're looking for. And again, don't forget that you disciple people through your posts. So treat every post with care. Each single post is probably reaching out to a different person with a different personality. And it's also reaching out to a different person with a different story than you. So the more that you post, your real story, your real testimony, things that you've been through, the more people get connected with that. As entrepreneurs, we often try and turn our social media feed into one big marketing pitch, proving that we are experts, sharing our products and services daily, signing our own praises and struggling. And sometimes when we share that struggle, it can make more of an impact in this world than any marketing pitch ever would. So next, we talk about how to invite your client. And and I say invite instead of sell, because I know sell has a bad rep. And so instead of focusing on selling, we should reframe this concept into serving.
That's
So
good.
how can you better serve your customer? How can you make their life better? And there's 3 ways we can create that type of content. First is show them value. Why is your product or service the best? Show some ratings, show some reviews, show some testimonials on what you've done. And because you technically are your own publicist, think of yourself as your own PR agent. If you're finding that people are writing about you, that they're writing great reviews on Yelp, that they're writing, great emails about you, screenshot that email, post it in your Instagram.
Yeah.
People love seeing that stuff. Second thing is educate your customer. Develop how-to videos and share them socially so potential customers can see how easy your product or your services can be. The next thing is to educate on what you offer. So really just talking about, how can you better serve your client with telling them, like, say I sell books. I would talk about how can I better sell this book to my client. And then educate on who you are, obviously, because you are your own selling pitch. And then the third thing is always call to action. Make your customers actually do something. Drive your customer to an action item. Sign up for your email, get involved with your Facebook community, etc. And then get your customer to share about your product or service. Okay, so since we already learned about connection, we've learned about invitation. Now let's get down to the actual strategy. So typically I break down my content into 5s. So again, going back to the connection slide, I said connect, invite. And so when we look at that, we can create 5 specific content pillars that can go under these connections and also selling points. So first is inspiration. What inspires you most? This is where you share your passion. This is where people connect with you on similar likes and wants. The second is your personal life. That's your real life. That's what you deal with day to day. This content is centered around your personal story and what sets you apart and what actually made you. Third thing is health, personal development, or even your own fitness. This content you create is on your personal health, what you do for wellness, or even get into mental health. There's so much you can really unpack there because a lot of what people are looking for on Instagram is very health, wealth oriented. Fourth thing is giving. This content, you'll really want to focus on charity or what you give back to people. And then the fifth thing is business. This is where you sell. This content is where you'll focus on product, service, education, and this is where you can actually invite your customer and truly sell them. So now I want to get into the breakout session where we will be passing out your own 5 content pillars. So you'll have the opportunity to write down under each specific content pillar what you think would be best for your own personal brand and your own personal social media. So take a few minutes to do that, and then chat with some other women around you. And then we'll do about 10 minutes, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Can you just read them off in case? they
Yes.
have the five
Yeah.
for online?
Oh, yeah. So on the 5 content pillars, again, it's actually on this past slide. These are the 5 content pillars that I have given in a worksheet. The first one is inspiration. The second one is personal life. The third one is health and wellness. Fourth one is giving. And then the 5th one that we should think about is business and how we can actually sell people. So take about 10 minutes, write down what you think your themes of your content pillars are, and then chat with somebody else. You never know who in this room could be in your target market. So yeah,
Very
we'll
good.
go from there. Okay, 3rd time's a charm. So again, you don't have to be everywhere. Can you hear me? Are we good?
Yes.
Yep, okay, awesome. So my main thing is, getting back to this, you don't have to be everywhere. A lot of people get very caught up and consumed with trying to build so many different social media platforms that it actually gets too overwhelming, and then they stop actually posting. So your main thing should be figure out where your ideal client is and figure out what platform they're most active on. And then start marketing to them on there specifically. Okay, so now we talk about when to post and how to post. And I do skills with a Z just for fun. Just to liven it up a bit. Okay, so first we want to utilize a scheduling tool. This is so incredibly important. You also can utilize, you utilize your content pillar worksheet while also using a scheduling tool, and your life of posting will be 20 times millions easier, I swear to it. And so by implementing and utilizing a scheduling tool, you can first batch create content, and 2, write captions easier and faster. And you'll also save time, energy on remembering what exactly you need to post. And then you can also stay aligned with specific posting days, sale days, holidays. For example, Black Friday, if you want to post like a huge sale on Black Friday, you can remember to do that and post it on the specific time, and also schedule that ahead of time. And then the second thing I would say is implement the 1, 2, 3 posting method. This all depends on what you want to commit to. So a lot of the time people ask me, how many times do I need to post? For me, if you're building your account for the very first time, I would say post once per day, but I know people can't commit to that. And so really it's what can you commit to that you can post and do for real, and get real with yourself with doing that. So I put on here, if you're going to post 1 time per day, it could be 1 time per month. It could be 1 time per week. You could keep going down the list of that. But if you post 1 time per day, either post at either 7 a.m. or between 5 and 8 p.m. And how I kind of think about this is, when are people on their phone most? And unfortunately, a lot of people, myself included, because I am always on social media.
Are you gonna say in traffic?
What?
God,
No, not in traffic. No, I actually wake up and I get on my phone.
Yeah.
And
okay.
a lot of people
Do the
are
same.
the same way. And unfortunately, yes, that's a super bad behavior, and you can read every entrepreneurial book in the world. Yeah, every entrepreneur will tell you, do not do that and your productivity will go down. But hey, the rest of the world is doing it, and literally that's, you got to market your business. So hey, I'm gonna post at 8 a.m. So and then between 5 and 8. And then posting 2 times per day, post at 6 to 9 a.m. and then 5 to 8 p.m. And I wrote down my schedule here on how I post specifically for all of the businesses that I run. And these majority of these times are when people are most active. And obviously depends on your market, on where and like when they are the most active. So say your market is a stay-at-home mom, obviously this person is probably kind of, you know, here and there on their phone when they can be, or, you know, if it's, say your ideal customer is somebody who is also an entrepreneur. That person is probably on their phone on their like lunch break,
Yeah.
or on their phone at like nighttime, right before bed. So posting.
Post an actual post, not story. It's totally different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so story post is way different. Story post is way different. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so post, but what I mean by post is posting to the actual feed. Story post is way different. Story posts are like real time type deal things. So if you want to do like fun story posts, I would post them throughout the day.
Yeah.
And obviously with story posts, they are up for 24 hours. So it's like less like commitment,
Yeah.
I would say. Because when it's on the feed, it's like a little bit more, you gotta have this be the most juiciest thing that you've ever posted, right? When it's on the story, it's literally like, yeah, it's up for 24 hours. It doesn't need to be like the best thing in the whole entire world, right? So stories are completely different. I'm specifically speaking on posts going to your feed. So again, I put down here posting 3 times per day, which I highly recommend if you are trying to boost engagement and grow your profile as fast as possible. Post 3 times per day, 6 to 9 a.m., 11 to 1 p.m., 5 to 8 p.m. And that gets people throughout the whole entire day. So you are staying active with people throughout that whole entire day. And then, yeah, so again, focus on your target market and when they're the most active, and then go from there. And yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Real quick, one of the things that we do here at Woven is we want to give women an opportunity to, I hate to say the word pitch their business, but pretty much share. I call it weave your story, is to share your story of your business. And today I chose Rachel from Choose Health. Rachel and I have known each other for a very long time. She's very, very passionate about educating youth and teaching parents how to educate their youth, because not letting the government decide how to educate your youth, but how as parents we can do it effectively. Is it just on sex ed or other areas as well?
Health education.
Yeah, on health education. So I'm gonna have her share her story. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you, Janice, for that introduction. So as she said, yes, my name is Rachel Rodriguez. I'm the founder of Choose Health. We offer online student health courses as well as tools for parents. So let me ask everybody a question, those of you watching too. Does anybody crave chips or chocolate?
Both.
Yes. So from that very first crisp bite to the last lick of salt off your fingers, with the chocolate, that sweet, smooth, savory flavor, I mean, it makes you smile, right? So for some of you, as I mentioned that, you started drooling a little bit in your mouth. Some of you, if you think about these foods long enough, you might even have your stomach growl. And you can think, how on earth does this happen? We just had snacks recently. Some of us even had a full meal before coming here. Well, it's all chemical. It's all in our brains, and our bodies are made to have all these brain chemicals or neurotransmitters coursing through our bodies, and it affects, we have craving that affects all these areas of our health, whether it is nutrition, relationships, even addiction to substances, and sex. So we feel that families need to be having these conversations about these topics, and we know that can be challenging for some parents. So we offer tools to address some of those more touchy topics. Speaking of family, you might have noticed my shirt. Yes, Choose Health does champion the phrase, the future is family. And the reason is that we know the science supports the fact that mutual monogamy, also called marriage, is the most healthy option for our overall health, our bodies and our minds.
Yeah.
And so we feel it's important that students know that that's an option they have when it comes to their sexual health, to look at choosing marriage and choosing family, and that the science backs it up. So again, my name is Rachel Rodriguez and my business is Choose Health.
And how can they find you?
You can find me online at choosehealthed.com, or you can follow me on social media, Choose Health.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Rachel. All right, so that's it for today. We're gonna do real quick